Toxicity at the workplace is a silent killer. It's there everywhere in many of the organizations, very rarely talked about openly. Today, I am going to share with you 4 real stories. I'll change the name and place to keep the confidentiality of people and the organization, but these are real stories. Now, why I am sharing this with you? Because I want to make sure all of us start talking about it more openly and then decide what you are going to do about it. Am I going to give you a checklist how to handle your toxic boss with the 5 checklist, 5 points? No, I'm not going to do that. This is much more than that. Almost think it like a movement going against the toxicity at the workplace, and let's see how we survive, and not only survive, how we thrive in that. And that's what I am going to share with you towards the end of this video. So stay tuned and don't move away after a few minutes. Let's start with the first story. This is a story of a young lady out of her university's first job, first few months going extremely well, and then from month 3rd or 4th, she started getting WhatsApp messages from her manager, and he would be sending her messages around 11 o'clock in the night. Initially started as discussion for work-related issues or challenges, but very soon it became much more suggestive. Even he started sending his shirtless gym picture to the lady, more suggestions, and insisted that she meet him during the weekend in one of the restaurants and pubs. The young lady didn't have a lot of friends that she could go to, but she did not budge. She did not give in to those advances. And finally, she garnered enough courage to go to the HR, another lady, and she just said, and you'd be surprised by this, it's shocking. The HR lady just said, "Oh, hey, that's nothing. Just go and adjust and accommodate. Everyone does it. No worries." Putting it under the carpet. And finally, the young lady decided to leave the organization, and she is working somewhere else and happy. Story number 2. A manager, and in this case the manager is a lady, extremely abusive to the team members, mentally torturing them, asking for more and more and more. And one time, some of our team members did not comply to something she's asking for, which is almost impossible to do. She picked up the paperweight from the table and threw that paperweight to them. Thank God it missed them. But just imagine the kind of toxicity it creates. And going to HR was not an option. Going to senior management was not an option. Because, you know why? Because she brings business. She brings deals. She is untouchable. And not always the toxicity at the workplace is just so overt. Sometimes it comes under the garb of jokes and sarcasm. Another manager constantly criticizing one of his team members in public and private, and with jokes and sarcasm. "Oh, I thought you were better than this. You could have, when you gave the interview, you are one of the stars I thought you were going to be. But see what's happening now. Oh, I thought you will do it very easily. And this is who you are, what you can do." So, lot of sarcasm, maybe some humor and jokes, but underneath, it is abusive, it is torturing, it is a mental abuse, it is toxic. And this story, the last one, is going to top it all. One of the young individuals, and everyone is under pressure, so she did something very innovative, spent midnight oil and created something which she thought is quite different and will move the organization forward, took it to her boss, and the boss scolded her for being proactive and not focusing on her job. But the story does not end there. After a month, in one of the meetings, she came to know the boss actually presented that entire idea and concept as his own and claimed the credit for it. So these stories, my friend, it can go on and on. There are more examples of that, and it keeps happening in the industry. No one talks about it. Normally in my video, I, at this stage, try to give a solution, what you can do about it. I am at a loss because it's not easy to deal with it. So what I'm going to give you a framework how to anchor yourself and assess and act. First thing first, when you face this kind of situation, your self-esteem will get impacted. It will get bruised. So you have to gain control of your self-esteem. You have to gain control of yourself. And to do that, you have to latch on to what works for you. It could be meditation, it could be journaling, it could be running. You have some way where you can gain back your control and your anchor. So first thing is anchoring. Second, assess. You find out what is the landscape, what is the source of the strength of that boss, of that manager, who is backing him or her up. Is he untouchable or is she untouchable because they bring business? What puts them off? What's their weakness? Try to understand that frame and also try to understand what is the HR's position, senior manager's position, and so on. So you understand the landscape and also assess what are the non-negotiables for you. Maybe it's your values, your beliefs, your integrity. You need a job that is non-negotiable, that you cannot lose your job. Whatever your non-negotiable. So assess the ground, assess the playing field. How you act? First, have your resume, LinkedIn profile all updated properly. Start exploring inside, whether you can move another job or explore outside the organization. And once you land a job and you feel safe, then you go to HR and talk about this openly, not as a complaint, as a, by the way, this is why I am leaving. So that the next time that manager becoming toxic and trying to impose himself or herself on the team, they have lessons to learn and they become much more careful. So let's take it up. Let's make it a movement. Let's think about the toxic workplace, which is a silent killer, is not a given. We need to stand tall. We need to make it a movement to move away from this toxicity at the workplace. It's not easy, but it's doable.